Hey, second graders. So for this next project, we are going to be creating robots, okay? So if you were in the classroom, we would be doing it a little bit differently, just because we have more supplies and materials in the classroom, but we're still gonna have a super fun time, okay? So I made a robot using some basic materials, okay? First I want you to watch the video on futuristic robots that I've posted, top 10 robots. And I might add a few other videos too, just so you can get some ideas for robots of the future. And then I want you to take a pencil and I want you to sketch out a design for a robot, okay? I also want you to watch the shape video that I'm posting on geometric shapes. Some of those shapes you guys know already, but some of those shapes might be brand new to you. Maybe you've never heard of them, okay? Such as a decagon or a nonagon or an octagon, okay? Or trapezoid. So make sure you watch the shape video because I'm gonna be asking you questions about shapes just to make sure that you're learning some new geometric shapes. I'm also going to create a video just kind of reminding you the difference between geometric shapes and organic shapes. But right now we're just gonna talk about the robot project, okay? So you're gonna get a pencil, okay? And you need a piece of paper, just sketch paper, okay? And if any of you remember what a sketch is, it is when you draw really lightly with your pencil and it's easy to erase, okay? So I'm actually going to show you an example right now, just in case you don't remember. So I'm gonna grab a piece of sketch paper. I'm gonna grab a pencil and an eraser. I'm gonna move my phone so you can see my piece of paper. Okay, so when you're sketching, okay, you wanna use nice light lines. In fact, you might not even be able to really even see my lines very well in the video because they're so incredibly light. Okay. Now, when I draw lightly like this, it makes it really, really easy for me to erase my pencil lines. Okay, look at that. Easy, okay? Now, if you draw with a lot of pressure, okay, it makes it very hard to erase, as you can see, okay? So sketching, you're using light lines. We also can call these whisper lines because it's like a whisper, because it's so light and gentle, okay? And when you're using these light lines, okay, if you change your mind for what you want to do for your project, it makes it really easy to erase and change your mind, okay? So you're not only just drawing a robot, what you have to do is think about what kind of robot the world needs, okay? Does the world need a robot that cleans the oceans because they're so polluted? Does the world need a robot that goes around and collects pieces of metal that have been discarded along the sides of the road and recycle them? Okay. Does the robot right now with the virus situation, is the robot a super doctor that goes around and treats people in their homes that are sick? Okay. Also, you can think of a robot that might be helpful to an individual instead of a group of people. So for me, I was thinking about being a new mom. You know, I have a 1-year-old, and I thought, gosh, I would love a robot that is Mommy's Little Helper. So this one's called Mommy's Little Helper 2000, okay? So some of the requirements for this project is that you need to come up with a name, okay? You need to come up with something that your robot does. And you need to use geometric shapes, okay? So geometric shapes, just as a reminder, are shapes that have nice straight lines or they're perfectly round. Geometric shapes generally have a name of some sort. And they're usually man-made because geometric shapes tend to be quote unquote perfect, okay? You know, things that are found in nature generally are what I like to call perfectly imperfect, okay? They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, but they rarely have straight lines or they're rarely perfectly round, okay? So some examples of organic shapes, just as a reminder, okay, are things like shells, leaves, flowers, trees, okay? They don't have perfectly straight lines or perfectly round circles in them. They're perfectly imperfect, okay? Geometric shapes, on the other hand, usually things that are man-made, things that are made in factories, and used, are a lot of times made by machines that have been made by humans, okay? So robots, we know those are man-made, and a lot of robot parts are made in factories. So come up with something that your robot does that an individual or a group of people or that the world needs. Use geometric shapes. Come up with a name for your robot. And then the supplies that you're going to use for this project are Sharpies, silver Sharpie, nice robot color, okay. Black Sharpie, okay. And this is when you're done with your sketch, okay? And then I actually went back in with colored pencil. So if you have colored pencil at home, you can add some color to your design. I just used colored pencils we have in the classroom. If you are really lucky, you might even have some metallic colored pencils at home. You could also use those. If you don't have colored pencils, you can work back in with crayon to add a little color and possibly just some washable marker, okay? So generally, the steps that you want to take are sketch out your design when you feel like you've got a good sketch. You're going to take one of the pieces of drawing paper that's in your kit, okay? And remember, the drawing paper is the smooth paper. It's a bright white paper, and it's a little bit thicker than sketch paper. And you can draw your design in pencil first and then go over it with the silver Sharpie. And then you can work back into it with the black Sharpie and the colored pencil, okay? If you mess up, flip your paper over, okay? Or glue something over where you mess up. You can also try to go over it with a little bit of whiteout or white paint. Don't use your second piece of paper because we're gonna save that for another project, okay? All right. I will review these steps in Google Meet if you have questions, but this is gonna be your first bigger assignment. Now, if you were in the classroom, the last step we would do is we would add recycled parts, hot glue them onto your robot. If you have a hot glue gun and you have help from a parent, and you have little pieces of metal or beads or buttons that you can add to your robot, feel free to glue those on, okay? That's how you're taking this project to the next level. All right, if you have questions, again, I will answer them in Google Meet, but happy art making. Bye-bye.